What's up, Irish Nation? Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com, your home of Ursuline Irish football season. So proud to be a part of it with Anthony Romo, with Coach Reardon here at the Golden Dawn. We'll be here every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 promoting Ursuline athletics and football, of course, with the cheerleaders and some senior player profiles. Cannot thank Johnny Naples and the Golden Dawn for all they do, becoming part of YSN and opening up the place for Ursuline football. Proud to be joined by the head ball coach, Coach Reardon. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, first question I want for you, because I talked to the kids about it. You've been a part of the Golden Dawn. It was a staple. It's been closed. And I always say, you've had so many good teams since you came back. Did you ever think, man, it would be nice to go over to the Dawn after a big win or a playoff run? Now you get that opportunity. How special?
Did I ever think that? Yeah, pretty much every Friday night.
Right. How special is it?
Yeah, it's great to be back here. And, the Naples family, we're so happy for them they were able to get it back open. And Johnny is a great supporter of us. And, we're happy to have a place to call home after games.
Yeah, it's awesome. Go ahead, Andy.
I mean, you in general, you're all over the walls here. I mean, three-peat state championship back-to-back in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Don't want to put you on the spot here, but out of those 3 state championship games, which one to you was the most memorable, would you say?
Probably the first. If you're just talking about memorable, the first time winning it is always something special. The second and third one, we were playing with such confidence that it was almost, we almost felt like before the game, we just had such confidence. We knew we were going to win. Where that first one, we hadn't done it yet. At least when I was here, obviously in 2000 or someone under Coach Vivo. But, that first one, there's something special about that, obviously.
And I remember being young, watching the game. Akis Teague wins Mr. Football, and he runs all over cold water. Go back to that game. Just what was going through your head when he was just running up and down the field?
Yeah, he was pretty good. Again, so that year, there were some similarities to our team this year. Relatively small senior class. There are only 10 seniors on that team. Very experienced offensive line. This year we have 12 seniors and, very experienced offensive line. So there definitely are some similarities, but Akis was something else. Just so talented. And, he was so freakishly gifted. In the weight room, he only weighed 160 pounds and it could bench press over 300 pounds and squat, whatever you wanted to put on the bar. And that's what people don't realize. He was fast and quick, but how strong he was for his size was unbelievable.
Let's talk about this senior group. One of the things that impresses me most, and I talked with the kids, and I want to ask you, the thing that impresses me most is the offensive line. When you're talking 5 guys that are in the high 200s, 260, 270, what they do to get up for you guys to do what you want to do on offense is impressive. I know conditioning is huge with you guys. You do a great job of it. But when you can get linemen to buy in, and that's why I'm glad you came with that similarity. That group of linemen with Akis was phenomenal. Do you see that kind of mix with this group?
Yes. Yeah, so this group it's a little bit different in that our group this year, it's 5 seniors, all of whom, have been with us from day one. We had Rose Barquette shared a picture from the corn roast.
I saw
their
that freshman year.
And it's like, and 2 of them started that year. They look like little boys. And 2 of them actually started for us that year in 2019. Mike Branch on the D line and Brian Fresco on the O line. And, you look at that picture like, whoa, like how young they look, and they started varsity football games
against the people that you're playing.
Yeah, and we actually won a couple games that year. It's pretty notable when you look at that. But that picture is something else to me because it shows how much they committed to the weight room, committed to what we asked them to do, and their growth has been off the charts. But it was not easy. It was a lot of hard work. There were no shortcuts. It was coming every day over 4 years. And, all of a sudden they're seniors and playing with great confidence and they've earned that right.
So going back to last Saturday, we talked about this last week leading up to the Farrell game. 2 teams that have built big traditions within their programs. You knew that the stage wasn't going to be too bright for either team, and they put on a show. talk about the resiliency of your squad. 11 lead changes throughout
Yeah.
that game.
They didn't
First
score, right?
game-
The first points they gave up in the first quarter. I think you asked them that last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, that one came out on our end.
Yeah.
11 lead changes in the first game of the year that you guys really faced a very close game. Just how did that feel to see you guys just continue to come back and come back?
So I think if you go back to last year and even the year prior, we had some close games, and last year we had a number of last play of the game, last minute of the game type situations, and with the exception of the state championship game, we came out on top in all those situations. So I think our kids have a lot of confidence that no matter what happens, good or bad, just keep playing, and you have a chance to end on a positive note. I was. So many lead changes, so many great players they had on their side. And yet our guys just kept hanging in there and found a way to make one more play than they did at the end.
And so I have another stat that I saw earlier today. So in Farrell's team history, program history, that was the first time in their 103-year history that they have scored 38 points and lost the game.
Wow.
Now that's rich tradition, just
Wow.
like you guys. We talked about last week how setting the standard is a flying right around all of us right now, not breaking stride.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of a game that is going to be remembered like that one, just how does that feel? I'm sure that one ranks up there with so many big games that you've been a part of.
Yeah, it was. So going back to last year, we talked to our kids last week. We felt like it was a similar situation to our Chardon game last year, where Chardon was opening up a new turf in the stadium and huge crowd, and the whole community was out and everything else. And we knew it was going to be a similar stage, and it was. And Farrell, it seemed like the entire town was there. They were having class reunions and dedicating the field and so on and so forth. And our kids, going back last year, I didn't do a good enough job getting our kids to understand what they were getting into when we went to Chardon. And we turned the ball over a couple of times, and we're down
30-0 or 28-0.
Yeah, it was something like that. I mean, it was 21-0, 12 plays into the game or something like that. And yet we still battled back and made it interesting at the end, made it a one-score game in the fourth quarter. But I think going through that experience and the similarities between the two, our kids understood a little bit better. And, we're able to hang in there and find a way to get the win at the end.
With Coach Reardon, Coach's Corner from the Golden Dawn, YSNLive.com, the home of the Ursuline Irish. Proud to be a part of it. Anthony, Romo, and myself look forward to calling the game Friday night. We'll get into the Fitch game. I wanted to ask you, you've been in a lot of traditions here at Ursuline High School. This senior group's been with you the whole time.
Yep.
For all the years you've done this has to be a special group when you talk about the progressions, not only individually, but as a football team that you've made with this group. Talk about that.
Yeah. So just, again, going back to that picture we referenced, having a chance to watch these guys grow when we were, really at rock bottom 4 years ago, and, building things, and, the 2020 season didn't end how we wanted it to end. And it was an unfortunate set of circumstances with the COVID situation. And, then last year getting so close to reaching our ultimate goal. But, these guys have been there throughout all of it. They've grown, they've developed, they've, in the weight room, socially, physically, in the classroom, every way you look at it. Right. And, so it's been special that way. And, it's kind of similar going back to when I was here the first time around. The class of 07 was a similar situation. And Nick McGagan and Ryan Kelly and some of those guys, Michael Paul Jenkins, and I could go on and on, but all those guys, it was the same type thing, watching them grow over 4 years and having a chance to play in the state championship game. And, it's very gratifying when you have a chance to witness that.
Well, salute to all you guys. You represent Ursuline High School on and off the field so very well. Austintown Fitch, very good football team.
Yep.
No question about it. Two good running backs, very good defense. Probably one of the best games in the area last year, if not the best. When I talk to both players, what impressed me is they understand it's a game. We're two teams that have bigger expectations. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. I think I know for sure we have bigger expectations. Right. And, I think that TJ has done a great job over there building the program. And, I know that their goal is to take that next step as well. And,
Sure.
so I think it's two really good football teams. I think it's two programs that historically have, going back to the old Steel Valley Conference days and all the way back, I think 1943 was the first time Ursuline and Fitch played. It's really been a very even series. We're up 21-19. I think one
Sure.
tie in there, but it's essentially a 50-50 series. So, it's been very balanced over the years. Both communities take a lot of pride in their football, and we're expecting a great game on Friday.
So Fitch this year brings back Jamel James, who missed all of last year with the injury he suffered in the preseason. They have him and DJ Williams, one of the most potent rushing attacks in the Valley. Going back to when you were talking about the big boys up front, I mean, you got to say this game's going to be one in the trenches.
Yeah, I think so. I think, first of all, they're an extremely talented team, probably from top to bottom, the best team we've played in a long, long time. And, I can't think of another team more talented, without going
Sure.
back to Cardinal Mooney and, 07, 08, those years where McCarthy and Zordich and some of those guys were running around. I mean, it reminds me of those type teams. I mean, they have skill all over the place. They have really good linemen. Their D-line is as good as anybody in the country. So all those things combined, there's a huge challenge. In order for us to have a chance to win, our O-line has to play really well. That is the strength, the most experienced part of our football team. They have to have a great game.
But also, I mean, that has to make not only you as a coach, but your team, that has to build a little bit of excitement to be able to go out and play a team of that caliber. Now, of course, social media, with as big as it is now, everyone knows who's getting offers from what school and who's going where. As a coach, does that make you a little bit more excited for your boys when they go up against, I mean, we're talking about the Brian Robinson, some of the big guys for your opponents that are getting a lot of big offers because it's a big stage for them to compete against some of the best?
From my perspective, I don't know that makes a big difference. I know from their perspective, from our kids' perspective, it's very big. We always, when we're game planning, we're always looking at where there's personnel deficiencies or advantages on both sides, and we try to scheme accordingly as a result of that. And they have a lot of guys on their team that okay, if you focus too much on this guy, that guy's going to hurt you, and it's on both sides of the ball. So, to me, that's always the challenge. We're always trying to create an advantage if there isn't one, and minimize their advantages and so on. And that's a chess match of it.
I wanted to ask you this, and when I got on the air with Anthony for the first game, I said a lot of people, I wouldn't say underlook Ursuline High School, but in my opinion, I thought that a lot of people didn't give Ursuline the respect that I thought it should be. And my point was, Dan, when I said this, offensively, it's going to be the same type of offense with the same strategies with different names, and that's proven out to be big. What impresses me the most when I've watched all your games and I watched all your talented receivers and Christian Lynch. Enough said. I mean, I said to these guys, if he is somewhere else last year, he probably plays varsity and runs for 1,500 yards.
Yep.
He's that good. But I'm a big mannerism, guys, and that's one of the things that I admire about your group and this group of kids. I don't see that in today's world. I want the ball. I got to have the ball. I don't see that with this group. It's a very sharing group that just wants to do what's best for the football team. And I say that because Mark and Will do a great job blocking as receivers. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I'm looking at Mark right now, and he doesn't always do a
Doesn't
great
always.
job.
Okay. Well, just let me know which ones.
No, those guys do a good job, and I'm just giving them a hard time. But I think our guys have learned since I've been back that we're going to feature the hot hand first of all, and week to week it can change very, very quickly, and we're going to be at our best when, if they do something to slow Christian down, Mark can make a play, or Will can make a play, or a year ago, Dean Boyd or Jalen Irving or DeMarcus or whoever it is. And going back, our guys up front this year, we have a luxury because they're so veteran. There's really not a defensive look that they haven't seen over their career. And they've been really, really good at communicating on the sideline and sorting things out. And, really they've had so many reps that they're so smart at what they do. So that's a luxury. That's definitely a luxury when you have new faces at the skill positions, new quarterback, new tailback, and so on. A couple new receivers playing, and but it starts up front. But yeah, as far as our skill guys go, they know if
things change in a blink of an eye.
One guy might have 8 catches this week.
Right,
someone,
but that's impressive. In today's world, it is impressive.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, thinking about going into this week's game, I would think that you guys are the only, or if not one of the only teams in the state of Ohio that through 3 weeks you've played your game on a different day of the week each week.
Wow.
Thursday night, week
Where
1.
do you come up with all that? You're like
on the fly.
Wow.
Thursday night, week 1, Friday night, week 2, Saturday night, week 3. When you have one less day of prep than your opponent, do you have to tweak your preparation to the week leading up at all, or is it still just same thing?
So we do. We try to keep our routine based on what day the game is played. So, we brought the kids in on Sunday, treated it like a Saturday where we watched the film and we got a lift and so on. And it wasn't, hard work, but it's a routine that we try to keep. And then, we got back into it. So, the one thing last week was such a physical game that we have to be smart with their legs and everything. And we had a lot of kids play a ton of reps, and it was a very, very high volume game. From an offensive perspective, we had 77 plays on offense, which is a lot.
I saw you guys had like 23 more plays ran than they did.
Yeah. So, you have to be smart. Yeah, you have to be smart. I mean, Christian Lynch had 44 carries last week. So if we're going to bring him to practice and have him run 100 sprints, I mean, we're not very smart football coaches, So, just being very purposeful with the amount of reps in practice, yet still trying to get the mental work that the kids need to get. That's kind of been the MO this week.
Well, we wish you nothing but the best. Friday night, we'll have it for you on Wise and let you go here. Keys to games. You and I talk every week. In your opinion, as you've got a chance to watch some film and do things, what's one of the bigger things this football team needs to do to get the W?
Yeah, so Fitch has big play potential. They have a lot of guys who can make you miss in the open field or run you over and things like that. So we have to contain their running backs first of all, but then they have skill guys on the perimeter, receivers, and the quarterback's playing well. Similar to our guy, it's a new starter. You didn't know what you were going to get, and he's playing well. He's efficient and spreading the ball around when necessary. So we have to minimize big plays because that's a big part of who they are. And so that's first of all. Secondly, we have to control the line of scrimmage when we're on offense. And, our guys up front, we've mentioned them a number of times just on this broadcast. Our guys up front have to play well for us to have a chance. And if they do that, then, hopefully we can control the clock a little bit and the flow of the game and, keep them off the field a little bit. And then finally, big games like this, you're always worried about turnovers. Yeah. So the defense needs to get some
special teams has been good. McClellan's been good kicking the ball.
Our kickoff coverage last week wasn't great.
Well, we'll blame that on the speed there.
That's another stat I read about Farrell. Farrell has something like, I think I read
they have 32 track guys that run a 4.40
I think I read they had 14 return kicks for touchdowns in the last 12 games.
Yeah, that's explosive.
Like that. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So
there you have it from the head ball coach. Wish you nothing but the best. Appreciate Friday night.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach Reardon, and we'll see everybody next Tuesday here at the Golden Dawn. Go out.